Well, the second that you're married, this sounds so crazy, but it's true. People are like, now he or she is really taken. Like, I feel like before.
It's serious now.
Yes. Like, I feel like you could be with someone for 6 years, and they're like, but they're not married. So, I mean, like, I could steal someone away.
Did you have like dynamics shift when you got really popular?
Yes. I would say I lost a few friendships from when we started to blow up. Don't get me wrong. It's not just because we started to blow up. Like, there was multiple things that shifted. But I would say that was like a tipping point of it. It was different. My life was different. Half the thing I'm going to be... You guys are gonna be like, is there any footage where Megan's not looking at herself in the camera?
She does.
Like, so...
That's literally
what did you say about...
Repeat the question?
Yeah, so
Repeat that question?
Didn't go to college.
You're exceptionally good at that, by the way.
Oh, it's sickening. I don't really understand why I have such flexible hamstrings. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
Don't try.
I know you can try. You're gonna have to sign a waiver though.
I had a really. This is like a few days ago. I had a really big gaming clip. I got like 7 million views on my gaming account on my Instagram.
Okay, just throw that in there for a second.
Yeah, no big deal. I made a lot of money off it.
Yeah.
I'm really famous, by the way.
Do you know my name?
But in the clip, it was like 8 seconds long, and I like died in the game, and then I ended up sticking my leg in the camera and going like this, and that's why people thought it was
just cause.
Oh, so that like lit it up.
So
because
people like my legs.
Oh, sure.
People love my legs.
I mean, I don't blame them.
The internet eats my legs up.
Right. And Megan eats your legs up.
Yes.
So,
I climb them legs, you know what I mean?
Kind of like when your feet make an appearance.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we get a couple DMs for those, but
they're nice.
You know, they're not terrible. But they're not. I mean, I wouldn't say they're model.
I'm sure you guys got the Feet Finder email. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
A couple times.
So many times. Yeah. I've gotten many a Feet
Finder.
And I was like, well, I have like foot fungus, so I don't know what they're. But you know, it is what it is.
Fungus.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, not anymore. No, I got rid of it. Thank you, podiatry.
They got a medicine.
This is also sponsored by.
That brings us into our sponsor.
You have nasty toenails.
So do we.
Well, thank you guys for hopping on.
Of course.
Hopping on, coming all the way to New York City.
Yeah,
literally
no problem.
coming over to New York City.
So the payment goes through PayPal?
Yeah, just straight through PayPal. You pay.
You're paying us to come here.
Oh,
Sorry, confusion with that.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you don't know, which you probably already. If you don't know, I'll say it to this one.
I had to look
Just
with
change it up.
Yeah. If you don't know who Meghan and Jack are, they're huge on social media across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. They have, I think 10 million plus following combined. And they're just hilarious. If you haven't already seen them before. And so if you haven't, check them out on all their platforms. They're hilarious. I know that Jack, you have a gaming, if you're into that. If you're a loser. Totally joking.
If you're a degenerate, you like wasting your hours of your life
on your computer,
an internet character, go for it. Check it out.
Definitely check out Jack if you're that person. You know,
Megan's here too.
Megan, anyways, we're gonna get into the questions.
So we're gonna get into some questions. But so you guys met via social media. I mean, you kind of were, got into the DMs,
slid
right?
into the DMs for sure.
Okay.
Actually, technically, he slid into my DMs.
I did.
I left
Really?
breadcrumbs. Yeah, because I saw his TikTok, thought he was a cutie patootie, and I was like, I'm gonna stalk his Instagram.
Yep.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
I changed my profile picture to me in a bikini, and
Right,
I was
as you
like,
do.
I've done that before. I gotta lead him into what I want him to do. An hour later, it was like, hey, how's it going? So
I immediately saw that, and I could tell that she was just begging when she followed me.
Right. Chomping at the bit, as they say.
I hit her with did you find me on TikTok? Of course she did.
Yeah. So did you recognize my
viral
content?
at the time.
How many followers did you actually have at that time?
At the time, 40,000.
He was about 40,000.
On TikTok?
Just TikTok. I had 100 on Instagram.
Yeah. I knew Instagram.
100,000 on Instagram?
No, just 100 followers.
Oh, 100.
Yeah.
So my close friends and family didn't even follow me.
Oh, so you so you didn't even have your mom following you on Instagram.
I did not.
Yeah. They were all fake accounts.
They were all fake accounts.
All bots.
Ones that he bought. Yep.
Yeah.
I thought I was.
So did you only post on TikTok?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And I thought I was the most famous person alive.
Sure.
With 40,000 followers.
I mean, yeah, at the time, that was probably pretty early on. What, 2019?
Yeah, this was like late 2019.
So TikTok was did it
hopping.
just come from Musical.ly?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It was
At that
fresh.
time. So that was really, really new then.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got in it pretty early. So, okay. So then you were like basically Leonardo.
I 100% agree with you. Micah, that's the thing about it mainly is that I really enjoy that.
The relatability of that was just too good.
Somebody call 911. I was going to say, so you were basically Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I still can't say it.
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Yeah. What did you put in the water? So you DM'd her.
Yes.
And then you guys got connected, and you guys were long distance for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I was in Maryland. He was in South Dakota. And we kind of messaged on Instagram for a little bit, got each other's numbers, FaceTimed like every night.
Of course.
I was like, I wanted to FaceTime every night. I didn't want to skip a night because I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
And then maybe it was like 2 weeks in, we made plans to buy plane tickets and meet in Denver, Colorado, and like spend a few days together.
Yeah, she was broke, so I had to buy the plane ticket.
He did.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I bought the plane ticket. But, that's okay.
Well, you were a big TikToker.
I was a huge,
Yeah.
famous
But
guy.
that's also like, did you tell anyone that you were doing that? Like,
That's
I
a
feel
fun
like
story, too.
If I told my friends, they'd be like, maybe don't do that.
So
Right.
don't do what I did, which was lie
Oh, sure.
to my friends and family, except for like maybe 2 close friends. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going on a trip with my friends. And then my family found out and they were like, are you crazy? Like, this is not happening. And then my mom actually called Jack and was like, I just want you to know.
I got a threatening FaceTime
She was like,
call.
if you hurt
Oh,
my
really?
daughter,
Oh, yeah,
we will
absolutely.
find you and we will end you.
And I respect Lisa for that. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't blame her.
Yeah, truly.
She's great. She's a great person, and she's very.
Yeah, because
Thank
like
you,
I mean,
Lisa, very
imagining
much.
as a parent, like
Oh, 1,000%.
your daughter
You're
meeting
flying
this
somewhere.
rando on
Don't
and
do
then
what
you're
I did.
flying to go and see
It
it.
didn't
Yeah,
help
totally.
that I'd never kept up with like my Facebook and stuff like that. So my
yeah.
Facebook said I lived somewhere else than what I actually said.
No, actually, his Facebook had, I think, 4 different
Definitely not a red
addresses in it.
flag.
I had so many different. It said I had a different job than what I had.
Oh
So-
wow,
Sure. 'Cause
sure.
he's, like,
Oh
wasn't,
yeah,
like,
yeah. 'cause-
updated.
yeah.
My
It
Facebook
was-
probably
it
would
was,
at this
you know,
moment.
I was
also.
It looked sketch.
My Facebook probably still says I work at a bagel shop. I don't know if I've updated.
This isn't Micah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but it obviously it worked out. We were
Yes.
long distance for about a year and a half.
Yep.
Just
Okay.
flying back and forth.
Yep.
And then he moved to
And then I
Maryland.
moved to her.
Because I was like, I'm not going to South Dakota.
Once we started doing
There's
our
literally
content.
nothing there.
Yeah. So when did you guys start doing content together then?
2021.
Because Megan, correct me if I'm wrong, you weren't doing social media really at the time.
Yeah, correct. I didn't have my own channel or anything like that. And when we would meet up, when we were long distance, we would make like little pranks or something on his account, and
Okay.
it would always do well. You kind of said the same thing, where it was like whenever I was in it, the couple stuff did a lot better. And so when he moved to Maryland in 2021, we were like, let's start a combined channel and see what we can do with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and then it blew up.
Wow. And then from there, that was 2020, 2021. When did that start?
2021 is when we started our combined account.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
January
But
2021.
throughout 2020, we just kind of experimented with stuff on his account, and everything that we were together in
did way
just
better.
did significantly better.
Yeah. That's exactly how it worked
Yeah.
with ours.
Yeah.
It's a little demoralizing, but it's obviously
We're not funny enough.
we're just not good enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're not good enough.
that answers
definitely-
the question, though. Who's funnier? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just
me
like very
and
clear
I'm
what
funny.
the what the moneymaker was, where the star power was. And
It's the
it is-
dynamic.
I know. I think
Yeah.
that's what
Like
it
when
was.
somebody asks who is the breadwinner, there's only one obvious answer. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me. Yeah.
funny.
Right. So,
Moving on.
so you guys do that, and at the time, 2021, you have how many followers together when you start?
When we
you did
first-
you just
So when we
like-
first made the account, we actually had 0 followers.
Oh, you
And-
started a whole new account. I didn't know if I didn't
We
know if
started-
you just turned yours into a couple's account.
So
okay.
we thought about it, and then we were like, you know what? No, let's start a whole new account because he wanted to grow his account as well. So we started a whole new one, and we had 0.
That makes sense.
with us.
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a few, we tried a few different videos, and obviously it doesn't happen right away. Like we had some that just did not do well at all. Mm-hmm. And then we did a prank that blew up for us. And we just kind of like rode that wave of pranks.
Sure.
For the longest time.
That was very much a thing back in the day.
Absolutely.
Cheesy pranks.
Yeah.
That was like.
The pranks that were very much not like staged at all.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. So real.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nobody was in on it. Like everyone was so surprised when the prank was happening.
Yeah, she was very surprised.
Yeah, nobody noticed the camera.
Yeah, like when you set a camera down right there, it's like, oh, just a normal phone that's just recording.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I mean? Like that happens.
For sure. Yeah, but that was the thing. That was very much a thing back in the day.
Oh, 1,000%.
So then that happens, and now that's just like when you saw that really pick up. Was that always in? I know that was. Like you guys didn't go to, or Jack, you didn't go to college. You always wanted to be in entertainment.
Yes.
And then, and the social media kind of came along and was like, okay, this is kind of
a good route. Yes.
Yeah. A good route. And you didn't go to college?
So I went to a community college for a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay.
And then I was like, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is money that is no, well, it wasn't my money, it was my parents' money. And I was like, I don't want to waste their money. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's crazy because I always like loved the idea of being like a social media person. I would make, when I was younger, I'd make like little videos, like fake YouTube videos and stuff. I always loved
are those
the
still
idea
on the...
I don't think that's
we should
important.
release those.
You know, I have the camera. I could find it 1,000%. Oh my goodness.
I've seen some of them, right?
Yeah, you've seen some of
They're
them.
rough. Yeah.
They're a bit rough.
Yo, literally.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it's bad. But then when I met Jack and he was like, I want to do this. I think me and you, we could do this if we really put effort in. I was like, okay, like yes, I would love
to give it a shot.
So I think it's awesome you're both willing to do it.
Was it hard for you to move to her and like kind of, because were you leaving family, community, and
yeah, my whole family,
and just kind of starting anew?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, I had a little bit of money saved, like $2,000 saved to live off of. And
that doesn't last long here in New York, by the way.
It doesn't last long in general.
Not even
nowhere.
Yeah,
nowhere.
But I wasn't worried about it. I had faith, to be completely honest, that we'd figure it out.
Yeah,
I really did. So,
he had so much faith. I'm like, he was like, I know we can do this. And I remember I was saying to him, I was like, okay, but I don't know. Like, just so you know, it might not work out. And he was like, it will, because I'm manifesting. Like, it's going to work out. I was like, that actually helped me.
Yeah, because you doubted a lot of first.
I doubted it. And he made me believe. He was like, believe you can do it, and we're going to do it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
You know, you got to put in the effort every day.
Yeah. Where does that come from? Like, is that how you were raised? Is that like, have you always thought like that?
My parents are a little bit like that. I'd say they're, I guess, entrepreneurial. I mean, they have their own business. But it's, definitely from my parents a little bit, and from, to be completely honest, a bunch of programs and books that I did when I was younger.
Sure.
Because I really got into like a bunch of like self-help books, and I did like these programs with a lot of people hate on them, but it was a good program. It was Ty Lopez.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I just did a lot of stuff like that, and it helped me shift my mentality a bit more. So it's a combination of things, but yes,
totally,
that's what it's from, I'd say.
And I think your parents too, they're extremely supportive. Like they're the people that are like, if this is what you want to do, go for it. You got to try, or else you're gonna be mad at yourself if you don't try.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So,
did you have a circle of friends that was that same way as well?
My brother's very much that way.
Yeah.
Him and I are very, very close.
Is he older, younger?
He's older. I'm the youngest of all my siblings of 4. And he was very much like that, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have someone who thinks very similar to you.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Makes a huge difference.
We read a lot of the same books. We did a lot of the same stuff together for a while too.
Bonded over it for sure.
And that was kind of like new for you, or no? Like, was that kind of like mentality, like, or just like his kind of childlike faith, or kind of what would you call it?
His like hope, or like the way that he was.
Yeah, just
belief
like
in general.
belief. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Just like belief, like total belief. Was that kind of a new concept, or just not concept, but just was that new to see somebody have that before?
I would say 1,000%, because I was raised with, and I mean a lot of people are, where it's like you go to school, you figure out what you want to do, you go to college, and then you get your 9 to 5. And anything that didn't have to do with that was like, well, that's not a good idea.
Yep.
Like it's not gonna work out.
Yep.
Like most of the time, that doesn't work out.
Yep.
But he was the guy that was like, well, most of the time doesn't mean anything, because if you try and you go for it, like you can do it. I believe in us. And I remember it was really motivating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, seriously, like I mean that. So yeah, for sure.
Well, that's so beautiful, because it's like, it's great. It's such a blessing that you had parents and a brother and people that kind of were there to help format, because then you also then kind of helped her think that way too. And like that can happen generationally too. Absolutely, and like if you guys end up wanting to have kids, do you guys want to have kids? I mean, that's a personal question. If that happens, like that's something that you can, pass on generationally. And it's so true. It really does, as cheesy as it is. And I know, like people probably get sick of hearing it, but it really does come back to your belief in yourself, and like you could have people not believe in you even in your circle, but if you do, that's all that really matters. If it's the other way around, you have everybody believing in you, but you don't believe in yourself, and it's kind of a moot point. Yeah. Like you're just not gonna make it, because it's not can or can't, it's will or won't. Yes. It's like, it's going to happen over time if you just don't give up. You don't know when necessarily. Yeah. You don't have those controllables, but it's like focus on what you can control, which is what you guys did. You just put in content, you put out content every single day, and then just over time it's brought, what you have today, and which is so beautiful.
Yeah. Agreed.
When did you guys get married?
We got married in 2022, August 12th. Nice. So it's a little over 2 years. We had been living together for a little over a year at that point. And I remember I was like, we should. I was like sending him pictures of rings.
She hinted at it so much. It was so much, because I'll be completely honest, like I was honestly indifferent about getting married.
Sure.
Well, he viewed marriage differently than I did.
I viewed it very differently. And whenever I DJ'd weddings, I did so many weddings. Like I did. I did like 135 weddings in 3 years, and for me that was a lot. And so I got this weird image of weddings and how they're just like I don't want to like, no hate on weddings, but like they're kind of just like a business, in a way.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you specifically had a different view on weddings, not marriage.
That's a good way to put it.
Not marriage.
Weddings more than anything.
Yeah.
They're just really expensive parties.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yep. Although I do think if I would have said to you like, hey, let's just be together forever, but we don't have to physically sign a piece of paper, you would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
I think you would have been like, that's fine. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. But I love her, and that's what she wanted.
Yeah.
So
I wanted a wedding. I wanted to sign a piece of paper.
I wanted to be with her. So of course I'm like, easy.
Aww. I want to be with you, so let's get married.
I was 1,000% sending him rings, and I was like, I think I'm
like
ready
super
for
subtle.
Literally. I think I got to a point where I literally was like, hey, I'm down to like get married.
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was hinting at it so much at first. Like it was like constant. Like she would send me rings, she'd send me during wedding venues. She's like, oh, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And she did that for like 5-6 months. And then I was finally like, okay, she really, really wants this. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair, I would slip it into a conversation. I wasn't just like, so Jack, sit down. Like I feel like I was like kind of natural, because that makes it sound like I was just like, listen here, buddy.
No, she wasn't rude about it. She was very kind.
Rude about it.
I was forced into my marriage.
That's funny.
And
I married a comedian, guys.
Yeah, I was joking. So yeah, that's our story of.
So the way that these work is like you speak into it, and this.
Right. So mainly what I like to do is I really like to do it, this way.
So in case you're hearing every other word that Jack is saying,
it's because he's literally holding it away from himself.
Twirling the mic.
It doesn't matter to me.
So anyway, we were going to the store the other day, and we were like, why don't we get some milk?
That was funny. That was really funny.
But
it was also a really good. I would like to say that was a really good passive way too. If like, what if at his core he was like,
like exploding, sweating. this is going to be awful. But okay, so now that you guys are huge, I mean, it seems like you have this huge following. Well, it's not seems. You have this huge following. And so like from here, is it just like, do you guys have like different visions? Like, are you going to keep just going and see where it goes? Or do you have other things that you're really passionate about that you want to like, that you're looking to grow or get into?
Yeah, I think for Meghan and Jack, like our combined account, we just kind of keep going with whatever's working. You know what I mean? Like it's turned into very like more natural moments in our lives and just kind of like us living and like capturing these funny moments and these real things that happen to us. Yeah. Like when we have actual problems or actual decisions to make, we like to be like, let's capture this moment and like show people this is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think we have other things too. Like I have my own personal account, like my own Instagram, and like I have my own TikTok and YouTube that I'm trying to grow with like fitness and just like funny stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Jack has his Twitch. He streams all the time. Mm-hmm. So we have our own passions as well, which is, I think, really important. Yeah. Because I know for a while I felt like Jack had his streaming and he was on Twitch, and I just kind of felt like I didn't really have anything that was my own. Mm-hmm. And I was telling you guys, I'm getting into music. I've been taking vocal lessons. I love writing.
That's amazing.
It's a great, cool. I never had a diary growing up, but I feel like in a way I did have a diary because I would just write lyrics or poems. And that really helped me get like my feelings out and stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You should write for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Like write music for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I mean, our flat rate's really, it's pretty low, you know? And then
it's like 50%, low six figures?
50% net profit. And
okay. Got it.
It's net profit. It's all good.
Non-profit.
You know, net profit.
Net profit.
Yeah, so all the money you make, we get half.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. No, that's awesome cool. That you're wanting to get into that. Wait, is there any, I don't think I've seen any like singing.
I haven't made any. I made like one video of it. I was like terrified to do that. Oh my gosh. But I haven't made much of it yet because I'm kind of like waiting until I have more to post about.
Sure.
But yeah. So
that's really exciting.
It's also just like my own thing that I have that I'm really enjoying. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's interesting you say that because like we like all of our accounts are us. And so I empathize with that where it's like, okay, like what's my thing outside of us? Like what, and then what's her thing outside of us? And so she has her blog. She's an amazing writer. And I'm dabbling in going into like the acting realm as well to like do more like TV and film and looking to pursue that. And so I think that is really important in a relationship too, whether you're doing this or not, is like having, your own passions as well. So that you can pursue those. So when you guys are so funny on your content, it's just like, it's so like I always get a kick out of it every single time.
Thank you.
You guys have been together for 4 years now? Wait, you 5, 4.5?
Almost he was 5. Struggling there for 2. He's like, no, it's about 4 3/4. So almost
4 3/4. 4 3/4. Okay. So for those who see you on social media, they're seeing just like, they never fight. They are always happy. They're always having a great time. They don't struggle with anything. They're just having the best time in their life.
Accurate. I'm just kidding.
And so that's it, right? That's just true.
We're perfect. Yes.
Okay, great. Just wanted to clarify that.
You know what's funny about that is it used to be a little bit like that, I would say, but more so recently than anything, we've actually showed moments that are more
vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah. We actually really try to do that because of course, like we have arguments and I call them tiffs. Like if it's not like a really crazy argument, I'm just like, no, we're just tiffing. It's fine.
We snapped at each other on videos.
Oh yeah.
We definitely snapped at each other. The energy was 100% there. And we get upset with each other, or stuff like that. But then sometimes we're like, okay, maybe that's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe it's okay.
1,000%. I mean,
and if people get mad about it, then that's just the truth. So
every relationship is different and every relationship has things that work for them. And the things that work for one relationship, another relationship is going to look at it and be like, well, I would never do that.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's all about the dynamic that you have.
Yep. Did anything, after you guys got married, did you feel like anything like any dynamics shifted in your relationship, or what was how was the beginning of marriage for you guys?
Honestly, I think it was funny because I felt like nothing changed.
Yeah.
I kind of was just like, okay, we're married now. Because we already lived together.
Yeah.
Nothing did change.
Yeah, nothing changed. It was just like husband.
Yeah.
We changed.
It wasn't, but you didn't have like a different kind of like, oh,
maybe
like
there was
I have a
a
husband
feeling.
now. Like I have a wife.
I feel like
now.
there was a
Isn't
feeling.
like a feeling.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think people treat you different.
Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, the second that you're married, this sounds so crazy, but it's true. People are like, "Oh, now he or she is really taken." Like I feel like
Like
before,
it's serious now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you could be with someone for 6 years, and they're like,
like,
but
oh,
they're not
dating?
married. So I mean,
Yeah.
like I could steal someone away.
Before Megan and I got married, officially, I'm sure you relate to this, but it was
A joke is coming.
No, there's not. It's not a joke. DM after DM after DM.
Oh yeah, like a line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
like
a
out the
line
door.
of women constantly being like, "Hey, are you available?
Right.
I know you've got a girlfriend, but
Yeah.
how is that?
Right.
Like, can I?"
And honestly, you got married because that just got exhausting.
It got exhausting.
Yeah.
It got
He was like,
exhausting.
"I just need this to stop."
on the street.
What
on
can
the
I
street,
do?
in the gym? It was rough. So
Grocery shopping.
Nonstop.
Yeah, you hear
I
me,
mean,
right?
getting your fungus taken.
You hear me?
I
You
mean,
hear me on this?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I hear you loud and clear.
I hope.
Yeah, loud
sorry,
and clear
good?
because he's
Yeah.
holding the
Yeah,
mic to
I was
his
like, there's
mouth
tissues
now.
if you need it.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna need that anyways. But yeah, being attractive is a curse.
You have such dad jokes sometimes.
Hey, he laughed.
It's like I swear, you
Well,
come out.
Oh,
About to be
Gonna be a
dad.
dad, so I don't know if that's.
That was
I
good.
was gonna ask. What's y'all's thoughts on kids?
Do you guys want kids?
we
or?
don't want them.
Kids in the
No,
future?
not at all. We don't want
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
No,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're excited. We actually
Yes,
went
congratulations,
through.
by the way.
We did. I mean, just transparently, we did go through a time of just being like, man, we really like our life right now,
Yeah.
and we really like our freedom. We really like just to be able to travel when we want to, and not have this very big priority in our life
Yeah.
that would take up and just shift our priorities and shift our dynamic. And so there was a point that we were just like, I mean, if we didn't have kids, would that be the worst kind of a thing? But then I think it was like father time also paired.
How old we are.
Yeah, how
I
old
see.
we are.
Yes.
Because it was paired with, I think we just came to like actually want a kid, and you wanted to pass on legacy
for me,
as well.
I just realized like, oh, if I don't have a kid, like my family line will literally stop with me.
Oh, that's
And that
is
that freaks me
very-
out. That really freaked me out. I was like, I don't think I like that.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, I started thinking about my parents and how much I respect them and just like the life that they built for me and my brother. I had a younger brother, but he passed away in 2015. And so, and
Why'd you laugh?
I was just like,
I'm joking.
it just really, it freaked me out. And so I was like, oh, I think I definitely want to have kids. The more I started to think about that. And
Yeah.
even with naming our son, like my maiden last name as his first name.
Love that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Even that is like, because my dad has two sisters, but neither of them had kids. So like the Shelton line would just stop with me.
out.
And so I wanted to continue it on, and I didn't want the name to die either. So
I love
luckily
that.
he was
I
on
really love
he
that
was
answer.
on board with all of that.
That's a really good thought. I really like you guys doing that.
And just building, I was thinking like, if in 15 years, I could see myself in 15 years being like, I wish we would have had a kid.
Right.
Yes.
And now it's too late.
Yep.
So, and I just didn't want to do that. If there was,
I think it'd be more that than the other way.
Oh, absolutely.
Of like, I wish we didn't.
of course.
Yeah.
For sure.
For us personally.
Yeah. No, 1,000%.
that.
I actually think. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I get that. I think the same way. I mean, I have 5 nieces, and so I see them, and I'm like, okay, the first few years were tough,
Right.
right? But like, it's also like the first few years of anything great is tough,
Right.
Yeah.
while you're building it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
saying
yeah.
you're building your kid, but
You kind of are.
your kid's growing. You're structured.
Well, you're also just
Yeah.
learning.
Yes.
And anything you start that's brand new is going to be the hardest part. And it's
Absolutely.
going to take the most bandwidth. Think about, social media or just like your business and like what the hardest part is always just like learning and
Yes.
going through the struggles of like failing. And
Yeah.
I think parenting is probably similar to that.
Absolutely.
That's it. I I remember, Jack and I, of course, had conversations like, do we want kids or not? And if you asked me a couple months ago, I would say I literally have no idea. But I also know that the idea of having kids is terrifying, but the idea of never having kids is more terrifying to me. And I think I look at it like that. But everything that you guys were saying, like the fear of I love my life right now, I have all of those feelings. I have the feeling of like, I'm not ready, but like, will I ever feel ready? Like maybe it's one of those things where it's like you just become ready for your baby.
And I don't think it destroys your life. I think it just changes it.
It definitely does not. That's the thing.
People that say
that
have come, they've decided that.
Right.
Yes.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. That is again, it's kind of coming back to mindset, but it's like that's a decision that you're making to say like, this is now like, this is totally like the people that blame their kids for not being able to pursue their dreams.
Yeah. Or making them put their life on hold
I just
or
think
whatever.
it's just like not fair. It's not fair to the kids. And I do. Yeah. Obviously your priorities change naturally. Sure. You have a new life that you're literally like keeping alive and raising. But I also have heard it's the most fulfilling thing that you'll ever do in your life is to be a parent and to be a father and raise a kid. Cause you're kind of like, I've said this, before. And what I'm really excited is first off, just like having a buddy that is half me and half her. It's just kind of wild, which is just weird that there's going to be a new human,
a little you
that is, part me, part Sarah. And then also just to like see what he's going to be interested in. And then also like see, like kind of experience life again through his eyes, because he's going to be experiencing everything for the first time, and it's going to be like kind of give us an appreciation for like maybe the little things, which we're excited for that.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
I've always thought to myself, like, I can't wait to see when I get pregnant, like what our baby looks like how they view things, like watch them grow into their features, watch them be like, say things that we do, and I'm so excited for you guys. I think that's going to be so awesome. Seriously.
Yeah.
We're very pumped.
Yeah.
Very pumped.
Also, I love what you said about, you were like, I want to keep the name. Like, I want to continue that name, because I think when I got married, I was like, oh my God, like I want to keep my last name, but I also didn't want to keep my last name. I wanted to take his.
Yep.
But I was like, both me and my sister are married, so no one has Lane anymore. But I put it as my middle name because I was like, I just want to keep it in there somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an emotional thing because I was the same way where I was like, I don't really want to give up my name, but I also want to take yours.
Exactly. I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And hyphenating is just so long.
It does.
Yeah.
Did you keep your last name?
No, I took his completely.
I wouldn't allow her.
Yeah, of course. As a man.
It's like respect.
Clip it. Flowing through your veins would never allow that,
No, I actually knew for years that I wanted to name whatever I wanted to name give a child the first name of Shelton. And
I love that. It's also a cool name.
And I was like, I think it could work as a first name. And before we got pregnant, I was like, I was sort of like, maybe it could be a boy or a girl name, but I really didn't want it to get shortened to Shelly. So I'm like, that's a completely different name.
Shelly? Yeah, way different.
Completely different name. And I didn't want to take the risk of it getting shortened to Shelly. So I was like, okay, we'll only use it if we have a boy.
Yeah.
And so then once we found out we were having a boy, we didn't even choose a girl name because I had already kind of like we'd already settled on that. And luckily he was very much like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
But I had from like high school, I had been like, when I take my husband's last name, I'm going to name one of our kids Shelton because I didn't know how emotional the experience would be of like changing my last name, but I knew that it was important to me.
Yes, but honestly, I went through a little bit of like an identity crisis for a little bit. And I remember I was like, Jack, I'm not trying to hurt you, but like, why am I so emotional about this?
Yes.
And he was like, no, I get it.
Your last name too.
I know, but I also was like, I want to have his last name.
Yes.
So I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I love this is kind of coming like full circle for you because you're saying like in high school, like you knew you wanted to do this and now you're like, now it's happening.
Yeah.
And I love that.
It is.
That's super exciting.
It's crazy. Like just our whole life is just like beyond anything I could have ever imagined.
Yes.
It's nothing like I
you
ever
wake up and you're
imagined.
like, what?
Yeah.
Like I'm here. This is happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you guys feel that? Well, I don't, maybe not you, because you kind of, this is something that you've been wanting to do for a lot of your life. But for us, this was never on the radar. It just kind of like started happening. And now it's like, yeah, we try to not take it for granted and just like keep like gratitude at the front, because we feel just very blessed
and steward it well.
Yeah. And try to steward it. But like, is it like, did you guys, imagine your life looking like it is right now?
No. I would say for sure I didn't. I am in the Air National Guard, so Air Force National Guard, and I joined because I dropped out of college and I was like, I don't know what I want to do, and my dad was like, that's an option because he's military as well.
Okay.
So I joined that, and honestly, I kind of viewed, at the point when I joined, I was like, I'll just see if I can get a full-time position here, and I'll figure it out. And then I met Jack, and I was like, actually, I'm gonna try social media.
You were still doing full time.
I was still doing.
When we first started, she was still doing that.
Because we had to make money. We were making money from social media at that point.
Yeah.
That was just a bum. I was just bumming off on her, dude. 100%.
But I remember at the point where I was like, hold up, like I think we could make social media work. But when I tell you, like I never thought that would be a thing.
Yeah.
So I am so grateful to be where we are right now. Seriously, because I truly love what we do, and I have never been good at like a 9 to 5.
Totally.
I was never good at it.
Yeah.
I think it's the ADHD. Like I just could not sit down at a desk, and like I tried, So this matches who I am perfectly.
I agree. It's the perfect job. Is the camera okay?
Yeah. I'm just gonna move it. I mean, you guys don't look very good, but the camera is.
You just blocked me out. Completely.
Yeah. Where I'm just gonna. This might be
perfect.
Yeah, that's actually a lot better.
Yeah.
You may continue.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know what we're talking about. Sick.
Oh, if like knowing that your life would be looking like this.
I guess I was kind of envisioned that, to be honest, for myself. But it was different. What I envisioned was different. I envisioned it being me alone.
Sure.
To be completely honest. I didn't think that I would ever find someone that would be willing to do it with me. Like a partner.
Yeah.
Friends, sure.
Yeah.
Other friends that had the same interest. But
Right.
a partner.
But like the love interest of the movie.
love interest. Yep. And so.
Honestly, Jack, this is going to sound so cheesy, but like he entered my life and changed it completely. Like I had no direction. Literally, I was like, I'm just
typical.
The man in me. No, but I really didn't. He entered my life and was like, would you? And I was like, I would love to do social media. And he was like, let's do it. Like, go for it.
You have a very specific personality. And I've said this before. Meghan is genuinely one of the most unique individuals to me that I've ever met because she's so... I literally mean this when I say it. I've never met anyone like her. And so she has such interesting personality traits and such interesting
multiple different
quirks.
personalities as well.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of.
Yeah, we have a home like next door if you want to just go.
Yeah.
We brought you guys here today.
And so it's so interesting to see how she works because I do feel like how she is, she's very narrowed down to what she could do and thrive at. But what she can do and thrive at, she can really do good.
Yeah.
And I think this avenue is something that, fortunately, that's for her.
Thanks, baby.
So
that's a big compliment.
Yeah, no problem. And with me, I can do anything.
Yeah, it's hard.
I could be a doctor.
Yeah, I could be a doctor, lawyer, whatever.
Yeah.
You have an amazing work ethic.
Thanks, honey.
He does. I think it's the homeschooling in
I
him.
could be anything.
Okay, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, we got to talk about homeschooling.
We got to talk about homeschooling.
That homeschooling work ethic.
Yes, because I was homeschooled, and all of my brothers and sisters were homeschooled. We were actually the first family to be homeschooled in our town, and it was like a whole for my oldest sister, it was we got a lot of crap for it.
Sure.
Because at the time people thought it was
more frowned upon.
It was definitely frowned upon, and they thought it was
not common for sure.
Like they weren't going to get the right school, like they weren't going to get proper education and all this stuff, and it was just not being responsible. Yeah. She goes on to be salutatorian in high school, and then my oldest brother was salutatorian in high school.
What does that mean? Because not everywhere has that.
Oh,
we didn't do that.
You didn't do that?
No.
Is it like valedictorian?
It's like second.
Yeah, so it's second to valedictorian.
Yeah.
It's like the second place, basically.
Silver medal.
Silver medal. And
second
then
place is still a
and
place.
then I was valedictorian. I was just holding
Sorry,
I was holding for applause. I was
Right
holding
there.
for applause. But
I don't really even know what valedictorian is because I was homeschooled.
it means nothing, guys. Like, I mean, it just means that you got straight A's.
Okay.
In
The
high
highest
school.
GPA.
So you did a really
It's
good
the
job.
highest,
the
it's the highest
GPA in
GPA
your
that you
class.
can get in high school.
Which, how many people were in your class?
100.
Which is freaking awesome. So I think that's
Look
pretty
at
cool, by
you.
the way.
All that being said was in homeschooling, it can definitely it can still be a stigma behind it, which I think there maybe sometimes warranted and sometimes not. But how was that process? Like, were you homeschooled through high school or to high school? Like, where was that? Because we were homeschooled till high school and then we went into high school.
I was homeschooled my whole life, up until
You're
high
still
school.
being homeschooled.
I'm still homeschooled. I've been held back a lot.
Yeah.
I really
He's
need
still
help.
in school.
I really need help. Yeah, I was homeschooled my whole life. And
Okay.
I played sports for high schools. I went to proms and homecomings. I had a social life, by the way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like your mom that you took to
it was her.
homecoming? Oh, it was.
I did go with her.
Okay,
but
got it.
I still went. You know.
Yeah, you still went?
Yeah. No. No. The like I said, obviously with the genetics, I got plenty of dates.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
It's people are gonna think that I'm a complete asshole.
Jack is kind of full of himself.
But yeah, no, I was homeschooled my whole life, and I stopped. I got done with high school when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay.
So I got done with high school when I was young. And then I just started working, obviously, and living with my parents.
Yeah.
And
What was your first
I
job?
was just gonna ask that.
Sonic driving.
Nice.
Sonic.
Good old Sonic.
Did that for a few
Cheddar
years.
bites.
Yeah.
Were you like on roller skates?
Yep. Yeah, sure was. Of course. Made more money doing that. And it's more fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Really.
We didn't have a Sonic.
No?
Nope. I went to my first Sonic when we were on tour together.
That was your first time going to Sonic?
Yeah.
And how old were you on
On
tour?
tour?
On tour, which was 2015. So
the
like I was
Beauty and the Beast
25.
Bro, I'm sitting here thinking you guys are on tour for the podcast.
Oh.
I was like, what? Yeah, Tony Robbins is going to be
Yeah, right. Joe Rogan came on last week. But no, they on our
pretty
Beauty,
good, though.
Beauty and the Beast tour.
I do love me some Sonic, I will say.
Oh yeah,
That's one of
it
my
was
favorite fast
great.
food places, and I'm not
It was
just saying
great.
that. Like, it
Yeah.
legitimately is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you went, okay, so you did Sonic, and then did you do, like, what other jobs did you do before social media kind of became your full-time?
You sold sheds at one
Sonic.
point.
Well, yeah, that was right before that was like the 3 months in between.
Yeah.
When I did DJing and stuff. I worked at Sonic Drive-In. Then I did that till I was 18. I had some other like restaurant jobs that I didn't do very long.
Yeah.
And then I got my real estate license at 18. And I tried to do real estate with my brother, which he does full time.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
When I was that age. And so we moved out when I was 18 together and started doing real estate together. And I didn't sell a lot of houses or anything. I sold like 5 or something, which you don't make that much money.
Yeah.
Really?
Just
Yeah.
selling
Yeah.
5. It's not
Yeah.
a living, really.
Yeah.
So then I had to go back to Sonic. And then I decided one day, I was just like, I don't know why I decided this. I think it's because I was like EDM music. But then I was like, okay, wait. I was listening to EDM music. It was winter. And I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I think it was 20. And then I was like, I'm just going to DJ. Weirdly enough. But I didn't ever think that it would be weddings. But I actually really enjoyed weddings.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I just decided that was going to happen, funny enough. And then, through talking to people, you mention what you want to do, and people, you start to meet the right people.
Yep.
So that's what happened with DJing. I ended up working at a restaurant, and then a guy knew a guy type thing.
Yeah.
I knew a guy.
Yeah.
So did you get like the whole like DJ setup and everything?
Yeah. I still have all my equipment.
Yeah, he does.
Nice.
I still have all my equipment.
And he's DJ'd for like a few friends before, and they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, would you
few
DJ my
friends'
wedding?" And
weddings
he's
as
like,
well.
"All right, I'll come back into the business." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they ask him,
Come out of retirement.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
come out of
exactly.
retirement.
But yeah, that was one thing that I was good at it.
He was good at it.
I bet.
Yeah. So then now I do what we do now.
So DJing was your last like
Correct.
thing before
Yeah, pretty
going
much.
into it?
I had I sold sheds in between for like 3 months to make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
It was a commission job, sales job.
And,
You're good at
and
sales.
were you working like did you guys make the transition because a lot of a
Like,
lot of
before
creators
social media?
yeah before social media
I worked-
where like a lot of people will like work, they'll build up their social and then like finally kind of like leave and then do it.
Yeah. So when we were starting out social media, trying to get that working, but obviously we weren't making that much money, I was going in for kind of full-time National Guard. I was like, just like put me on the schedule. Like, can you guys pay me? Just put me on days. So they were doing that. And I was also working this other desk job for this random company, like an administrative assistant type person. So I was kind of doing half the week military, half the week this desk job. And finally we saved up enough money to move out of my parents' house, because when he first moved me, we lived with my parents. We saved up enough money to move out, and then we saved up enough of a savings to like put all of our focus on social media.
Oh wow.
And then that's what we did. But before that, I worked like Kohl's or Walgreens, kind of just anything I could find around that worked. So nothing crazy.
Yep. Was that a scary, like, was that kind of like a scary jump to do?
It was scary because I'm
sorry, we're boring you?
No, I apologize.
Totally joking.
I didn't sleep last night, like at all.
Oh, you didn't?
Well, it's dramatic. I went to sleep at 4:30.
I'm totally joking.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's legitimately, that was.
It's his
not
allergies. He has
boring
really
at
bad
all.
allergies.
Yeah, I don't know what it is from the city being here. Like my nose is getting all clogged.
Well, the
up.
air's different.
Head's feeling
It's just
weird.
different. It's different air.
We pump pollen just like through.
Yeah.
It's just something that we're into.
We just love it.
Yeah, we love the
know?
smell of pollen.
Something about it.
Imagine. Oh my god, I'd be dead.
His
You
face
would
would
be dead.
It would be.
Yeah.
He would be like,
Hey guys, just slowly, it's like
It's like Hitch, you know, when he like in his
Jack,
whole
you haven't
face,
answered much. Could you go ahead and answer that one?
oh, throat is good.
throat closing. Oh my gosh.
Over here, Jack. Over
Yeah.
here.
What's going on?
You guys have a cough or anything? Wake up a little bit.
No, we don't. Anyway,
Anywho,
no, but to answer your question,
Yeah.
I would say it was definitely scary. It was definitely scary for me because I remember when I told my parents, I was like, hey, like, yeah, this is my current plan, is really going for social media. They were definitely like, I'm sorry, what?
Sure,
like,
of course,
You're
yeah.
gonna try what? They're our biggest fans now, I swear. But of course, at first they were like, that's not.
they're still coming around.
Yeah, they're like looking at the book of jobs. They're like, that's not on a list that normally you would be able to get.
Yeah.
Totally.
But Jack was like, I know we can do it. And I was like, okay. And then when I quit my other jobs and I was like, okay, like we are no longer making any money from this. It was scary.
Yeah.
But it was worth it 1,000% because like I said, I love what we do.
Yeah, and with her parents, like it was very it was tough at first. Understandably so, because they were very skeptical.
Makes
Of
sense.
course. Yeah.
But whenever we started to show some success, and whenever we got recognized, we were at the restaurant,
Oh yeah, our first time ever like getting recognized, and it was in front of my family.
and it was in front of them.
That's always the best.
Perfect.
Yes, I was
what I
like,
mean.
see.
And validation that what
And then
we're
you
doing
like
is working.
Venmo them later.
Yeah. I'm like, thank you
absolutely.
so much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got a picture with us and stuff like that, and that was early on. Whenever Megan and I were shocked.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, sure.
We were like, what?
Yeah. Do you remember like the first time that happens and you're like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Oh, for sure. I was
it's a
definitely
bit-
probably so awkward because I was,
so
I was
cool.
probably like, who are we talking about? Like,
Yeah.
what? But
It's pretty wild though.
oh my gosh.
It
It's
is.
still crazy to me.
Yeah,
Because
I bet.
I literally am just like, I'm just little old Megan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so when people are like, oh, like I watch you guys' content, I would love to get a picture with you. I'm like, really? What? I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, but we are. Ultimately we're like the same as everyone else. Like I genuinely feel that way. Like, and we are at the end of the day, because social media is such a strange thing where it's like it's just numbers.
It's a strange kind of,
when people see your content, it's just like you just chose a different field.
Right.
You know?
That happens to be in people's
happens to
faces.
be
Like,
yeah,
like a
in the public eye.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you guys get, with such a huge following, do you guys get any hate? Do you guys get any like,
I mean, for sure.
but probably not a lot.
We actually don't get a
Yeah.
crazy amount of
I don't
hate.
see I don't see that happening that much for you guys, to be honest.
Yeah, which I'm very, very happy about because I do
very
know
thankful for
I've heard of people saying how they get so much hate and everything
Yeah,
like that, but
yeah.
we haven't gotten that much. Of course, we get some. Like
Sure.
you can't please everybody.
No.
Yeah, that's just the internet.
When there's millions of people that are
Yeah,
are like
that are watching.
commenting or watching, and it's like, you just have to, I don't know, for us, like if there's ever like a hateful comment, there's just, you got to understand that those people, there's nobody that is happy, fulfilled, pursuing something, on a path that would comment something hateful.
Yeah.
It just, it's typically somebody, and it definitely is somebody who's hurting.
Yeah,
and
who's hurting.
you touched a button, or you touched an insecurity, and they lashed out, and they probably even forgot they commented, and they're moving on with their life.
Absolutely.
And then because I don't know if you've, sometimes I'll address I'll like address it.
Yeah.
We get it. We very
Not
rarely,
really in a co-
rarely,
only-
rarely get
only
it.
in a DM.
But in a DM, I'll just like address it. If it like,
Tweets you.
I was just
yes,
like,
of course.
okay, I need to address this. And they're always apologetic.
They're
I'd
like,
just be like, oh my gosh,
I didn't think you'd actually see
I
this.
didn't think you would see this.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I swear, because same thing. I'll respond. I'll never respond rudely. I'll just like kill with kindness, honestly,
Yes.
and be like, oh, we didn't mean it like that.
For
And they're
sure.
like, oh my God, no, yeah, of course, I did not mean
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
People always
Yeah.
say ignore the haters, but I'm a huge believer in if the majority of your comments are saying something, then it's probably true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, like if everyone was saying, Jack, what is up with your nose? I'd be like, what's up with your nose?
You need to change your nose.
You know what I
You need
mean?
to change your nose,
get a
like,
nose job immediately.
Which I
tomorrow.
do need to do.
Immediately.
No, that's I think that's true. Like there's just like data. And so like if they're, well, it's kind of like relationships. If you're going from one to the next to the next to the next, and they're all kind of saying maybe the similar thing, maybe
Maybe
it's
I'm the problem.
You, yeah, and not all of them.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It is tough to realize that sometimes you are the problem.
Oh, it's a hard thing to look inward. It really is.
We talked about that with friendships.
Yeah.
That we had in the past.
Yeah.
How maybe we dig deeper and we realize, like on the outside, we're like, that sucks that they ended up being that way.
But then I'm like, well, was it?
It's never one-sided completely.
For sure.
Maybe you're allowing a certain behavior to be treated a certain way. And so you have to look inward.
Did you have like dynamics shift when you got really popular?
Yes.
You mean?
I would say I lost a few
friends?
friendships from
Absolutely.
when we started to blow up. And don't get me wrong, it's not just because, we started to blow up. Like there was multiple things that shifted.
But that was like the tipping point.
But I would say that was like a tipping point of it. It was different. My life was different, you know? And I feel like people viewed me differently. And it's hard to nowadays to like know if I meet someone and it's all genuine.
Sure.
Or not, if it's just like, I recognize them from social media and I want to get to know her because of that reason.
Right.
So I feel like I find that to be hard sometimes.
That's tough.
Because I'm like, is it me? Or is it that you're like, this is kind of, I want to know you for this reason,
Right.
not because I like you as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you guys have like a tight circle where you are in Delaware?
I would call it like a small line.
Yeah.
Because
You mean this right here?
It's just us.
The two of you in a row.
That's all it is. It's kind of
circle's
like
a big
you put a
word.
dash on a keyboard. It's that or the dash.
I'm at one side, she's at the other side. And,
I
there's
would
really
say
nothing
we're good
between.
with that.
Yeah.
No, but
You have a dog.
We do have a
and
blind.
he's blind.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
So he doesn't even know.
Blind, mentally stunted, and has scoliosis.
Yeah, he's
but
actually very messed up.
He's definitely the mesh,
The glue. Yeah.
He is the glue in the relationship.
Oh my God, he's the sweetest little man too.
He's the best dog ever.
No, but I have Jack. I have my sister. I'm very close with my sister. I have one sister. And then I have my friend Grace. And those people have been with me for a long time. And they've stuck with me. And I love them very, very much.
Yeah.
And those are my people. I could tell them anything. But honestly, I think that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're really good friends with Noah and Lori. We've been friends with them for a long time.
Were you friends before social media?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
You met
Yes,
at social
we met them through social media.
Yeah.
And they have become
We become very good friends.
very, very genuine.
They're good people.
They're
Yeah.
really
Very
good people.
Very real.
They seem like it.
It's very hard to find real people. Y'all seem very real. And I think that's very tough to
All
find.
an act.
You want to, yeah. I can
Especially
tell.
when you meet through social media.
Oh,
Yes.
of course.
Because
Of course.
you meet people and you don't know if it's like a facade.
I think a factor is too, we've met people that I sound like, hardworking American here, but like when people haven't worked before
Yeah.
or they haven't been put into certain situations that I'm not saying I went through a lot in my life. I did not have some tough childhood. But when people are put into those tough situations with like working and just having to pay rent,
Yep.
and being behind on money,
Yep.
and just working and having to
Yeah,
pay
you
rent.
didn't hear any of that, did you?
Jack.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to. It's right here. It's right here.
Okay.
Okay. I got floppy wrists. But I do feel like, it's in social media, there is quite a bit of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
People who were born into it, essentially.
Yeah. Well, nowadays, people want to be social media influencers.
And it's 50% of kids say that they want to do that, right?
Yeah. And, or famous. Most kids now just say they want to be famous.
Don't you think, though, that everybody wants that?
To a degree.
Deep down, it's not necessarily fame, but they want to be known.
Yeah.
For something.
Yes.
They're good at.
Of course.
Proud of their work.
Yeah.
Known for that. So I think that's a very common, everyone wants that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's just more, I think now social media is way more accessible and on the front line and has created a lot of careers and jobs for people that it's become more normal than back in the day where you say that you're going to, do social media full time and you're going to go and pursue that. You're like your parents were like, let's get a real job kind of thing. Yes. Whereas now it's a lot more realistic. And yeah, I think you're right. Like you mean like kids that that do this and you don't ever have a day job or they don't end up ever having to work. I do think that there's definitely some, there's work ethic and things that get lost when you don't have that. I'm grateful for
1,000%,
our upbringing and kind of that. We had to do that. We had to struggle and we had to do we were both doing 9-to-5 corporate jobs on top of trying to scale this out and doing this on the side. And it was just it was hard for a span of time, but I think it was worth it. I think that we have a much more of appreciation too, when you do kind of go through struggle and you know what? It's when I always try to not be quick to judge too, because I think right now it's people could have a season and maybe they haven't gone through a struggle. They've been 13 and they blew up and now they're a millionaire on social media and they seem like they've never had an issue in their life, and maybe they haven't at this point. But ultimately, eventually, something will come along.
Of course.
And then somebody will come through, and then
everyone's struggles are valid.
Yeah,
essentially,
right.
Yeah,
it's all kind of relative.
Yeah, exactly.
To their life, but I do agree. I think what people are starving for is authenticity.
Yes.
Oh, 1,000%.
Absolutely.
I think social media is a blessing and a curse in the aspect of when we started doing it, we struggled at first. It's hard to put yourself in a public eye.
Oh yeah.
And watch what you say and watch what you think and make sure that, is this going to be taken the wrong way? Is this relatable? Or are people going to be like, girl, nobody does that?
Yeah.
But then it's also brought us some amazing friendships.
Yep.
It's brought us amazing connections, opportunities. But we struggle a lot with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And just social media in general. But I also love what we do. So it's a balance,
I think at the end of the day, you aren't going to be in it long term unless there is an authenticity of who you are in the content.
Otherwise, it's too exhausting.
It's too exhausting to hold that. And then you meet people in person and you're not the same way.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important. I agree with you.
Yeah. And you kind of have to know what you're signed up for. It's if you're wanting to do this, you're going to be in millions of people's eyeballs, and everyone is going to have a different opinion about you and a different upbringing. And so it's you just got to know what you're getting yourself into and be okay with that.
Yeah. And also slightly know that there's kind of, in a way, there's no winning, because no matter what you say, no, that sounds so bad. Actually, I take it kind of back. But what I mean is, it's no matter what you say, somebody's gonna disagree.
Yeah.
But as long as you are yourself,
and
you are saying things that you mean, people are gonna see that. They're gonna see the genuinity. Is that a word?
It is now.
Genuineness, is that the word?
Genuinity.
I like
Genuinity of it.
Yeah.
That sounded good.
Yeah,
Genuinity.
it sounded pretty professional, but just because I don't know.
Well, you have to really become confident in who you are and know who you are.
That's so true.
And be confident in that, so that you're not bothered and swayed by every little thing that does come through. Because it's just when you know who you are, you know your values, you know what you're doing, why you're doing it. nobody really can shake your tree. And you just
that.
have more of an empathy than towards people that try or that go about that.
So how do you guys deal with that?
Yeah.
How have you like gotten yourselves rooted in like, this is who we are and all that stuff's going to roll off my back because it doesn't matter. We know what we're doing and we know our intentions and that we're being genuine. Like how has that journey been for you guys?
You go.
How do we, okay, I'm trying to figure out the question mainly, is how do we react to?
Yeah, like how have you built yourselves to a place where you're like, that stuff can roll off my back because I know who I am. Yes, because we know who we are and we're rooted in who we are and the fact that like we know our intentions.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So there's something I heard a long time ago from Gary Vee, funny enough. And he said something before I started social media and it stuck with me. And he said, in order for the negative things to not affect you, like deeply affect you, right? It's going to always slightly do it. But in order for the negative comments to not affect you, you can't let the positive ones also affect you.
Oh, that's deep. I like that.
Yeah. And it sounds like I don't care when people say, I love your videos, blah, blah, blah. But to my core, it doesn't make me go.
It doesn't make you peak.
It doesn't give me a high.
Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you allow your emotions to be free in that aspect, then your negative comments will destroy you.
Yep.
And it won't slide off and it won't shake your tree. So I guess that kind of, if that answers.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
That was very good.
We put our content out and we go, we like it. It's good. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Do you typically go to each other or do you have other people, maybe some core people that you can like that you go to when you do go through like a hard time, whether it's like relationally or it's like in your social media? Cause like, like in this business, there's a lot of comparison and a lot of, looking at other people and seeing how they're growing versus you. And I mean, you guys are crushing it. So you probably don't struggle with that at all. But if you have, do you like typically just have, how do you keep your guys's, I guess, relationship so good and like on top of also pursuing all these things and I guess giving that time? Or is it all kind of the same?
Can you repeat the question?
I don't think I could.
I'm gonna ask.
Can you ask a better?
Maybe ask like.
Where were you?
I'm gonna ask a more
You were
clearer
gone, right?
question.
She was gone.
No. I was trying to follow, and then my brain was like,
That's okay. That's all right. I saw you start to levitate.
Well, you asked like 17 questions.
I know I did. I know. That was not you. That was me.
That'd be a good clip.
It's not you. It's me.
Well, I don't know if this is what you were trying to ask, but this is what I want to ask.
Please do. Save me.
How do you keep the health of your marriage a priority while also being in business together and having that as like, how do you keep your priorities right between the two of you?
Ooh, I would say that's a really good question, by the way. That's a really well said question. I really think that like that question is probably one of the best questions you've ever asked.
No, we're running out of time.
I would say that for one, and Jack and I stand on this, if we go to film content and we are like, we are not in a good mood, we are faking a smile, I can't do this. Maybe he said something, maybe I'm just not in a mood, whether it's at each other or just in general, we're not filming. We are not going to film something that we don't feel is correct, or if we're like, I'm not in the mood, like this is just going to be worse for us because I'm going to pretend to fake it. I'm going to fake laugh at your joke right now.
Yeah.
We don't want to fake our emotions. I'm a huge quality time person. So we make sure that he knows now, because I think at first he was like, well, we make we spend all day together. Like making content is quality time. And I'm like, it's not.
Yeah.
I want to go out to eat. I want to watch a movie together. Yeah. Just me sitting here and like you sitting there, that's not quality time.
Yeah.
So he knows that now.
Yes, I do.
And I love you very much for making the time.
I love you too.
And there's been times where he's like, I'm going to go game. And I'm like, okay. And he comes out and he's like, actually, well, let's watch a movie. Like, let's do something together, you know?
Yep.
And I think that's huge for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Also, just because we work together and it's 24/7 together.
Yep.
Like love languages, huge thing. Loving each other in the way you need to be loved, huge. And I would say I almost recently learned that because we have very different love languages.
We do. Yep.
And I wasn't loving him in like his love language. I was loving him in mine.
Totally.
Yeah. And that
happens all the time.
Yeah. And that can get you to a point where you're like, hey, why is my love meter so low when you're giving me love?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm receiving it the right way.
But, so what's yours, Jack?
My love languages. Acts of service, probably number one.
Okay.
You know, helping with like cleaning.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
And so, not to say you never did it.
I didn't though. Like that's true. I really didn't. I'm not a clean person. And I will say that right now.
Yeah. But it's just not how she is. You know, it's
Yeah.
not how she is. So she has to go out of her way to clean. She has to, you know, things like that.
So it's not just cleaning. You made it sound like that was your love language is when she does the dishes.
I do love that.
Yeah, I mean.
No, but that's
no,
a
it's
big
just
thing.
acts of service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Acts of service.
Yes.
But yeah, I have to go out of my way to like think about stuff
Or
like
like
that.
if, you know, if we have like a brand deal and like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to stream. And, you know, I feel like more so recently you've been like, okay, I'll get the concept.
I'm like,
you know.
I'll do this. Like you do your thing. I can help with this. I'm part of this, you know?
Yep.
Mine is words of affirmation and physical touch.
You're beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. He's working on it. I'm just kidding.
That's great. Okay, write that
job,
down.
buddy.
Write
Good
that
job.
down. Do you see that?
But yeah, very different.
Yeah.
And so
That's
I would
pretty similar to ours.
really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's definitely a lesson that we had to learn as well.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
And I feel like everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
But there's a statistic that I read one time. Actually, maybe you told me. I don't know.
Okay.
But the average like 9 to 5 husband and wife spends, I think it's 2 hours a day
Yep.
together.
Oh, wow.
The average relationship, they spend like 2 hours of just time together, whether that be watching a movie, eating dinner, whatever.
Like actual quality time.
Yeah.
Whereas like literally 24/7 because we work together, live together, eat together, cry together.
Yep.
You know, like
All of it.
all of it. So it's very easy to be like, hey, you walking is pissing me off.
Yeah.
Stop breathing like that.
But we've learned a lot of things about each other fast. I'm not saying that we're more mature in our relationship than most people, but we've learned a lot of things about each other very fast, very rapidly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To where it's like people always said to us, "Oh, you argue like an old married couple," but like I'm like, I mean, it feels like I've been with her forever.
It's like, yeah, kind of.
You know, we kind of do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely have to like learn each other in a different way when you are together all of the time.
Yeah.
Because it is inevitable that there will be
Yes.
small things that maybe wouldn't even be noticed if you both worked separate 9 to 5s and then we're just together in the evening.
Yep.
Like just like the way someone likes to structure their morning.
Yes.
Or likes
That's
to
a huge
structure
thing.
their day. Or it's like
Yeah.
we're different when it comes to that. And I'm like, why are you so free flowing in your day when I want things like this is for 2 hours,
Yes.
then this is for an hour, then so it's like things like that probably wouldn't matter if we didn't work together. We wouldn't have had to have a conversation about that. Do you guys have like boundaries around, okay, this is like our work time and this is our us time, or does it all kind of bleed together, or how do you deal with that?
There's definitely not boundaries because it changes all the time. Like sometimes I'll get up and I'll be like, I'm going to go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, I'm not going to the gym in the morning. I'll go later.
Yeah.
Or I wake up and I'm like, I'm down to do content like right now.
Yeah.
Because I have to be in that. We both do. We have to be in that
Sure.
space, that
Mm-hmm.
mood. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we tried to set a time for it, but it just doesn't work.
Doesn't do
Totally.
anything for us. Yeah.
It doesn't work.
It's still recording, right? I just want to make sure. Hasn't
Hasn't
been.
the whole time.
Oh my
You were
God!
finishing a
Don't
thought.
do
Oh
that!
my God! I was like,
Oh my God! This was literally your face.
you guys both just stared at Megan like. This is how we end.
Did you cut her off before her thought was finished?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really panicked and thought
No,
like
it's all good.
you were looking
That was a
because
funny
it
moment.
wasn't recording. And
No,
so
that was a
that's
funny
really
moment.
I started worried.
Also, to be fair, I was kind of like, I was kind of done. So, kind of worked.
So the timing doesn't. You just
the timing is just kind of.
it's in flux.
Y'all both have
It's
really
in
nice
flux.
teeth.
Thank you.
They do.
Yeah.
I was actually staring at.
I'm
it
so
that
jealous.
earlier.
Like I'm planning on getting like dental work, orthodontics and stuff because my teeth are crooked and I have
Dental
bad
work.
bite. Dental work. But it's just I gotta wait a little bit, obviously, for appointments and stuff. Ah, that looks delicious.
Good water.
I thought that'd be funnier.
Yeah. There's a
It's really good, right?
no. That's good.
Yeah.
There's a straw.
Oh, there is a straw.
Just in the way.
It is. It was in the way. I
It was
don't know
for
why
the
you
bit.
asked for it.
It was for the bit.
straw, honey.
Yeah, it seems
Also-
like it's a little bit more. Okay,
I
what?
think it's funny. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. I apologize.
That's all right.
Oldest child.
I was like, when I was jamming you guys, I kept like making jokes and I kept like showing Jack and I was like, look how funny I am. And he was like, you're like that girl that just tries to like riff a bit.
I riff. I'm always a riffer. You give me a joke, I'll
too.
go with it. Absolutely. No matter what. Even if it's not funny.
It's called Yes and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and. There you go.
Yep.
But it's just like you never really know if someone's gonna riff back or if they're like, you know.
Jack was like, it's like you're trying and you just don't know if it's gonna work.
Totally.
I thought it was funny though.
Because
I
Megan and
thought
I
it
are
was
very
hilarious.
much like we're very much like, what if I just spilled this all over your carpet?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then like, but if
Well, that
And
sounds.
then see how they respond, kind
sometimes
of a thing.
people will be like, oh, I'd be really upset. And you're like, okay.
All right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know Micah wants to end this. Let's just keep it going. See
Yeah.
how far we can get it.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah.
Also, can we talk about how the one time that he was holding it perfectly was when he's coughing into it?
I swear I'm not sick. I swear I'm not sick. It's
Yeah,
literally
he's not
just
sick.
it's from the I get allergies.
Yeah. No, all good. All good.
I know you're pregnant, so
Right.
I am
think so.
pregnant.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just wanted to
Thank
clarify.
goodness. No, I wasn't.
But I just wanted to
worried
think.
about
I
it
didn't
at
want
all.
you to think I'm coming in here to
Had a
destroy.
pretty big
I
breakfast.
didn't even have a thought about it.
What'd you say
I
about
didn't
breakfast?
think. I said we had a pretty big breakfast.
Right. Yeah.
No, but like I know I love that. Like when you were DMing, I'm like. Because you're kind of like testing a little
Testing
bit,
the waters.
especially in messaging or texting. You're kind of like, is this person somebody who can riff and like can and
Can they riff
or
my
not?
bit?
And I appreciated that because I'm very much the same way. I'll yes and anything.
Even if
I
it's not
love
funny, right?
it.
Even if it's not funny,
Yep.
it will start and I will immediately like my brain automatically
You don't
goes
drag
to.
it on though. I've noticed. You don't drag it on. Some
Are
people
you
drag it on.
joking or not joking?
No, I don't think you drag it on. Some people drag it on way too
Oh,
far.
too far. Yes.
That's what
Yeah, I
I
was
mean.
gonna say. I feel like
Yeah, you drag it on, but like that's funny.
you
Yeah.
know
When to stop.
when it's
He
that
definitely has
perfect.
friends that he drags it on for
Oh, of course, but it's
way
funny with
too
your
long.
friends.
But
then that's part of it.
But that's part of it.
Yeah.
And it's like
You all
part
get
of
that that's part
yes,
of it.
Yes.
That's how I
you're
am with my friends.
and you're like you're a part of that joke of that bit of we're just gonna keep going on this like
Yes.
a trail here.
Yep. Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
only funny to you.
Right.
And it's not funny to anybody else.
Which makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like
My friends and I
okay.
we'll talk about cicadas overtaking our lives, but for 3 hours.
For sure. For
And
sure.
They
3
have a
hours.
six-pack, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
and it will
it's not funny.
tangented to the point where
Yeah.
you're talking about like the Great Wall of China
Yep.
being a robot or something
Yeah,
like that.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Which it is, by the way.
just sitting there
Yeah, which conspiracy theory.
cool.
Thank you guys for coming on. This was so much fun, and
Yeah, it was definitely something for sure.
it was yeah.
was
I
an
mean, we'll see if we even
we're
post
here.
this.
Yeah.
We probably will scrap
There
it.
were some nuggets of wisdom sprinkled throughout the
Yes,
fun.
from you,
Some
me,
grains of rice were sprinkled. Some
and
wise grains.
and you guys were here.
Yeah,
So-
we were here for it. We
Yeah.
were listening to the wisdom.
No, you guys are so funny.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us.
It's crazy that we're meeting for the first time.
I
We've
know.
been following for you guys for a while now, and so glad that we got to connect. And
No, yeah, we were excited
Yeah.
when you guys messaged. We were like,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
that's.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
From your hair.
Is there a
I
bug?
apologize.
Is there a bug?
No, bugs
Okay.
do fly to her hair.
And just to have
Oh my
someone
God.
kind of, there's no one, I feel like there aren't many people that are close to us.
really
Like we
not,
don't,
which is
I mean, or
odd.
we haven't met any,
No.
I guess not in our same sphere.
Yeah.
There's a lot of creators in New York, but they're
But it's like chic
doing-
models.
Yes.
oh my gosh,
Yes.
yeah,
Like
that have
it's,
tens of millions of followers,
it's very
or they're
different
just like,
than
They're
what we
like,
do.
Hey, want to
And
be on our
their
podcast?
videos are like with a green juice and like a nice croissant.
and they
Yes.
get millions
And
of
they're
views.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're hot.
Yeah.
So we're not quite on that level.
Yeah.
No,
You guys are hot.
yeah.
You
but
guys are hot peeps.
Yeah, you
That's
guys are
all
good looking people.
stop it.
Yeah. Yep.
Cut the cameras.
Yeah. Oh yeah, really good, like nice legs.
Your
Okay.
eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Really
the guys.
flexible.
Your hair.
Stop it.
Don't even get
Stop
me started
it.
on the nose.
Oh
Yeah,
my
the
goodness.
nose.
Okay,
Definitely
that's
nose job.
I'll stop you right there.
Okay.
We're done.
At the nose.
We're done after the nose.
But you guys have a really great mindset.
Yeah, you do.
I like
Thank you.
learning
That's a
more
nice
about
compliment.
how you think.
Yep.
And the dynamic between the two of you, I think, is really I don't know. It's very just the way that you interact with one another. It's just very genuine.
It is very genuine.
Genuine.
Yes.
What did you say?
Genuinity?
Genuinity.
The genuinity is just
For
there.
sure. It's very
Genuinity's
palpable.
flowing.
But
you.
excited to see what all you do. Like you guys, I know you'll be successful in anything anything that you guys pursue. And so if you haven't yet, please check out Meghan and Jack, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok,
Facebook,
Twitch. You're on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
If you're,
I'm already way too big on there. I don't need any more.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So maybe not.
Like Kai Cenat, any of those like really famous streamers.
Yeah.
Chance?
You're just like,
I'm a little bit above.
oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
funny.
humble about it.
Funny.
Super humble.
Yeah. Thank you, love. What do you think they would do if we started making out right now?
I think they
Just
would
sit here and watch.
Yeah, we'd probably just watch and like commentate.
Just take it
And
in.
I love the bond.
Yes,
You guys
yes.
have.
Genuinity.
The back and forth seems very good.
What if it got weird and I like started like kissing her forehead like a lot, like making out?
Why
with
is the forehead? Oh,
Making
yeah,
out with their
that's
forehead.
all.
Just the forehead, and then she's
making eye contact with the whole time.
I'm uncomfortable just thinking about it.
I'm not sure what I would do. Just licking her forehead.
She doesn't even look like she's
this
enjoying
is just
it.
something we do.
Sorry.
Thinking about it, I'm just getting heated thinking
It's
about it.
kind of like you do for a dog. You put like peanut butter when you're clipping the nails. But that's
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It'd be really awkward if I was doing it. I just made straight eye contact with the mic.
Yes, that would be awkward.
I tell you what, everything's worth a shot.
you miss all the shots you don't shoot.
Brother.
So as always, people, we like to end our podcast by saying we almost all sang the second note the same. They're
I think
just
we did.
very
we went up there.
Slightly dissonant.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Very good. All right. Well, it's been an awful time. So goodbye.
All right, peace out.
This has not been fun.